Good morning, beautiful people. So we have moved into the second week of doing this, which is crazy to me. Um, so the whole point of this little project is for me to bring morning messages from spirit, from love energy, to help us all ground in a shared moment in time, um, to allow us to know that we are authors of what's happening here on earth, that we have some creative power, we have agency, and that we can shift things. There is a lot of awful things happening right now in the collective globally. There's war, there's destruction, there is injury to others, there is oppression, there is separation galore, right? And there are some really powerful people who are playing with that energy. There's some really powerful people who are operating completely on fear, ego, pride, operating with this idea that in order for them to be important, in order for them to be successful, they need to hoard all this resources, all of this energy. And in doing so, it doesn't matter if they harm people below them, around them, who are getting nothing, right? There are a lot of people who are disconnected from that love energy, disconnected from that opportunity for healing, opportunity for growth, and opportunity to connect with their higher selves. And they don't care at this moment in time. They are operating so quickly that they're not seeing or feeling or actually experiencing the pain that they're causing to the world around them and to themselves and to their souls in the long run. So what we need to do as a collective of people who care, of people who have not given up, of people who are in this to do better for themselves, to do better for their neighbor, and to protect Mother Earth, we need to start taking some ownership over the story that we are rewriting, the reality that we are bringing into creation, and making sure that everything that we do, everything that we are speaking into existence, everything that we are moving and shifting and shaping with our actual hands, but also our thoughts and our energy, we need to make sure that that is coming from a place of love. So that's what these messages are meant to do, is help us to reconnect to that space of love that is not based in fear. And so that we can actually start bringing forward more of the energy that will eventually bring us into the newness of this moment, move us past this space where ego and fear and pride and greed are causing the biggest waves, moving us towards places where it's about love and unity. So I'm going to tap into love energy, which is the energy that's been guiding me for years and that I've been working with for years. It has actually led me to be doing these little morning messages. So let's tune in and see what the message is for all of us today. So the message that's coming through almost word for word is for everyone who's watching this, and for me who's hearing this at this moment. So all of us, the message is you are strong enough. You are strong enough for this moment. It feels like the weight of the deception, the weight of the nonsense, the greed, the stupidity is so heavy. It's almost like, how do you fight back? And they're using the word fight. I'm going to rephrase it to push back. But they're saying, no, you who are hearing this, some of you need to hear the word fight. So they're saying, how do you fight back against such fear and stupidity and ignorance and this desire to actually see other people hurt? I don't like to see this sometimes, but there are people out there who are really getting joy from seeing other people suffer. Some of it is because these people have suffered themselves, and it feels like a moment of relief for them to see that, other people are going through this too. But other people, they really have this illness, this sickness, this disease in them that causes them to actually like to see other people suffer. And the thing is, how do you fight against that? How do you push back against that? Because there's no talking sense to people who are that far down the rabbit hole. There is no way that intellectually you can change their minds. There is no way that intellectually that you can get them to see the error of their ways. And that's what we've been doing a lot in many spaces, is trying to find the perfect argument to actually have these people's minds and hearts open wide, and so they can actually see how much pain and destruction they're causing. And it feels tedious and burdensome. And they're saying the reason it is feeling tedious and burdensome is because that is not the way to do this. We can't intellectually argue our way past this disease, this illness that people are carrying around in them. What we can do, however, is isolate those people as much as possible from doing destruction, getting them to places where they are not able to have as great of impact on as great of a number of people. But at the same time, while work is being done to figure out how to do that isolation, that is kind of like, they're kind of just showing me like real isolation, like putting a bubble over that and putting folks who are really doing a lot of harm kind of in this bubble over there. And there are people, and some of you may be watching that is your calling, is to figure out how to isolate this kind of energy. They're saying that you need to figure out how to do that with love and care, because these humans are still humans. They need to be isolated, but you have to remember that there is something that is working upon them and through them that is not of them. So how do we do that isolation bit? But the majority of people who are watching this today, your job is to bring in as much energy and light and examples and ways of living, of ways of communing and connecting that drown out that noise. Because we have to remember that this is all frequency, right? And that love frequency is louder. Love frequency is of a higher vibration. And when it's compact enough, when it's concentrated enough, when it is big enough, when it's united enough, it automatically drowns out the dark. Light brightens everything up, right? It gets rid of that dark. So we need to be pushing more and much more of that out there. And we need to be doing it in concentrated ways. So when they're talking about concentrated ways, they're talking about connecting with your neighbor, connecting with the person down the street, connecting with people who are doing this work of bringing more and more light online, connecting with them purposefully so that there isn't as much of a gap between your light and theirs. You're like really threading it together, building it together. And the more we do that, the more we enhance each other's light, the more and more we enhance each other's messages, the more and more we enhance each other's creation. And this becomes this contaminated dark energy over here becomes easier and easier to override and silence and silence. So that is the message I'm bringing today. It actually is a little heavier than I was expecting. But it's really important to remember as we're going through the week that this is not a lost cause, that we are powerful, that we have agency, that we can create the story that our souls are yearning for. Just because the darkness and the ick seems to be sitting in places of power where they have lots more agency, lots more reach, doesn't mean that this is a futile battle. There's also something important there about thinking about this of containing it and making sure that we're isolating it. But remember that these people, as hard as this is sometimes, these people are carrying a contagion and they're also carrying a disease. It is not their truest and highest form. It is something that's acting through them and with them. In a lot of cases, they have accepted this energy in. And that is a detox that their souls are going to have to go through for many, many iterations. But we can't, if we attack that, if we do anything other than contain it and then penetrate it with love, that's how the contagion, that's how the ick comes in on our soul. And then we need to carry that around. So this is one of those things where it's not about fighting fire with fire. I think of this phrase that I have carried around for years about fighting fire with marshmallows. It's from a Robin Williams movie called Toys. And the whole thought process is if people are over here doing something that's vile and dark and icky, and they're trying to burn the world down, it's our job to come through and figure out how to use that fire, that thing that they're trying to destroy, to turn it back on them so that they look silly and lifeless. By using it to create something that's joyful, by using it to create something that's silly, by using it to create a s'more, it's making that absurd, and we're actually building something more beautiful from the destruction that's happening. So that's where we're at today. And I'm going to let that settle. That feels really heavy for a Sunday message, but I'm sure that Spirit's bringing it through for a reason. And I hope you have a beautiful day and enjoy a day of rest and enjoy a beautiful weekend. Here in upstate New York, it looks like it might be sunny today, even though it's super cold. So I'm going to enjoy the sunshine.